Welcome back to Lumpkin Stadium here for the second half between SAGU Lions and the Ottawa-Arizona Spirit. Of course, if you're just joining us, the SAGU Lions up 28-17 after Tim, my color partner, has called it a game of runs.
Yeah, it really has. That's exactly what it's been. SAGU opens up a 14-0 lead in the first 2.5 minutes. Ottawa answers with 17 straight points, and then another 14 for SAGU. The passing yardage right there is the whole story at the moment. SAGU with 261 passing yards at the moment. Look at the third down conversions too. SAGU 6 for 11. Meanwhile, that one of the best third down defenses in the land has kept Ottawa at 1 for 8. That's just been crucial.
Now we do have joining us in the booth our sideline reporter turned booth reporter, Matt Williams. Matt, you've got a feel for the field and what's going on here in the first half. Now, in a game where SAGU came out firing, they were up 14-0 in a matter of seconds, it felt like, and then for Ottawa to come back with 17 straight, but then SAGU to answer back in this game of runs. What's that feel like as a former player and being down there? What's that feel like?
You know, it's always great when you come out firing on all cylinders defensively, and, you know, I play safety here for Southwestern, and I'm defensive-minded. So our hopes are very high. We get it started early, and then once they start to gain momentum, get comfortable, as this quarterback does, you know, he comes in, that offense comes in averaging 48 points per game, so you know they're going to sling the rock. So defensively, you have to get refocused. It's a new half, so most definitely you have to get back to the fundamentals and be disciplined.
Now, Matt, on defense, it felt like this game almost shifted when CJ was able to draw 2 consecutive offsides penalties. Since then, we haven't seen Ottawa bring those delayed blitzes as much anymore that we kind of analyzed going into the week. As a former defensive player, does that get into your head a little bit if the quarterback's able to kind of draw you offsides? Does that make you rethink your game plan? Does that happen for you guys out there too much? Or?
Yes, sir, most definitely. And that's the worst thing any athlete can do is be in their head too much. And, you know, defensively, you know, they see us as the aggressors, so we're chomping at the bit to get things going. And then once we start to get a little bit over-aggressive, we start getting those penalties. And so we just have to draw back a tad bit and reevaluate.
Talung Hamung, TH, kicks it deep. It's going to go over the head there of Shamar Moreland, and a good job by TH to get it over the head, to keep it out of the hands of that dangerous return man, Moreland.
He does have the wind at his back now. It's kind of picked up a little bit more than it used to be, coming really, coming west to east out there. Now, Matt, we've also seen in this game a lot of these screen patterns, and it feels like Ottawa-Arizona has been able to really kind of dominate those. What goes into reading those screen patterns as a guy who plays defense? You know, when you're looking at one-on-one on an island.
Yes, sir. When you're in the secondary, you know, the worst thing you can do is keep your eyes on the quarterback, and picking up on those screens, you really have to eye the in-middle line of scrimmage, the offensive line, because if they have a high hat, you know it's a pass play. If they have their head on a swivel or they're moving, you know it's going a different direction. So if you just keep your eyes on your keys, the in-man line on scrimmage, then you'll be able to pick up on the play a lot sooner.
Good run there to start the first drive of the second half for Ottawa by Marcellus Chester-Riley. They hand it off to him again, and he is so shifty. Sort of reminds me a little bit of Ricky Bickham in the size and then the shiftiness.
Well, that's one thing we've seen from Ottawa that I wasn't really expecting, honestly. It's just how many running backs they have utilized in this game so far. He had some struggles early on in this game. He shows two big runs, though, to get down, and this is a big first drive for the Spirit, down 11.
Second and short, they're going to hand it off to him again. He's going to get the edge, cut it upfield, and get a first down. 3 straight running plays. We haven't seen them run this much consecutively so far in this game.
No, and it's something that you need to establish. There's still plenty of time on the clock. Go ahead and establish that. You know, the pass game was not working for them as well towards the end of the half, so reestablish that run. Yeah, you pick up 30 yards on 3 runs, essentially.
McCullough hands it off again. This time he's tripped up in the backfield. Looks like Derek Shelby. We've been calling his name a lot. He's going to meet him at the line. He's going to fall forward, get just enough to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And once again, I don't know if Shelby's going to get on the stat book for that right there. He's able to get the pressure, though, get him off his feet before he goes down for no gain. So, yeah, Shelby has been putting together a great ball game so far. Really, Shelby and Belcher have been 2 of the best players on defense for the Lions, and it's one of the big reasons why this high-powered offense is stuck at 17 points.
Here's McCullough now, 2nd and 10. He's back to pass. Short completion and he wraps him up, can't bring him quite down yet. I was going to say good tackle. Ultimately, it's going to result in about 5-yard gain. But he did a good job. Yeah, did a good job of meeting him really essentially right after the catch was completed. Torrey Williams.
We're seeing so many battles, one-on-one battles in the open field in this game. It's just the way both offenses and defenses kind of work. And it's been whoever wins that battle has been kind of the winner of this game so far. And so that was a big one right there.
First third down of this second half. You have a whistle.
Number 20 is being sent out. Failure to cover his knees.
How dare he?
So I've actually not seen that rule. Matt, are you familiar with that? The knee pads were not covering the knees?
Yes, sir. I want to say last season, 2017 season, is where refs really started hammering down on you must have every knee pad, because there's a lot of guys who are a lot braver than I and do not play with knee pads or thigh pads.
I couldn't imagine. Can't imagine. I need knee pads when I get out of bed in the morning. Here's back to pass as McCullough rolling out to his left. The pass is overthrown. That time he was looking for Ray Springer, who had a nice catch in the first half, resulting in a first down. This time, can't find him. And Tim, it looks like Ottawa, foot on the gas. They're going to go for it here.
Absolutely go for it to get in that maroon. Oh, actually, the Mutt team may be coming out. But great defense. McCullough with the rollout. Early on, that was working. They had the short man, the middle man, and the long man, and one of those guys was getting open right there. Everybody stays in coverage. And so now it brings up a 4th and 5 from the 41, and they're at least showing punt. I don't know if they're ready to dial up a fake quite yet, but they are showing punt after deliberating for a moment.
They don't have anybody wide right now, and they are going to kick it away. Northey going to let it go over his head, and it's going to bounce, and he's going to down it about the 16, maybe 15-yard line. Pretty good punt there. Shifted the field position. SAGU's going to have pretty long field to go here if they want to.
Yeah, taking over the 15-yard line, but it's funny, when they were winning the field position battle, that's when they weren't scoring. And then these last 2 drives of the half, they go 80 yards, another long drive. So almost it's like they need the full field to work with.
When they're gifted with short field position, they don't take advantage, but let them go 80 yards. Doesn't matter.
During that punt, Cedric Dale did come back out on the field. He is at the trainer's table. Looks like he has a temporary cast on his knee, so I doubt we'll be seeing him back in this ball game. But good to see him back there on the sideline at least.
Collins now with 2 backs in the backfield with him. He's going to hand it off, trying to get around the edge and unable to do so. It looked like he gave it to Jayton Taylor. He was brought down for maybe a gain of 1.
And that's going to be Kenneth Steele Jr. again. He's the one fighting his way on the outside. He's going to get the initial contact. 2 guys helped him wrap him up. I doubt Steele needed him. Steele probably could have done the job himself. But good job of sealing that edge. The Lions have been having problems getting around that edge. We saw it on the drive that got pinned inside their own 5-yard line. They ran an edge rush there. Did not work at all. Doesn't work on this situation. Only picks up a gain of 1.
Here's Collins. He fakes the handoff. Quick pass out to Northey. Northey sidesteps. He's got some room to run, and he is fast. Sam Northey down the sideline. 1 man to beat. He's going to do it if he can keep his feet all the way for a touchdown for the SAGU Lions. There we see Sam Northey. So dangerous in the open field.
That is all Samuel Northey. That is just same route they've run probably a dozen times this game. Just a quick little underneath route, probably trying to get 7 or 8 yards. Northey takes the sideline route. I don't think the defender was expecting that. I think he was expecting to cut back in, beats him to the sideline. It's a foot race, and you're not going to win. Northey just barely staying in bounds. That is going to go for about an 85-yard touchdown pass. And the Lions are going to open up, barring this extra point here as we wait for it.
Low snap, the kick is up from TH, and it is good.
18-point lead. Samuel Northey, what a game. 3 touchdown catches from him, and that's more a run. That's more a touchdown run. Now, he's getting stretched out on the sideline right now, maybe putting a little too much effort in there.
It's worth it. It's worth it to get that touchdown from that far away. And again, bad field position results in the Lions. It's backwards. It's backwards.
Sometimes football makes so little sense, but that is when you rely on the athleticism. And again, I think it's that route to the sideline. They weren't expecting that, makes the weave inside. And the defender had to think he had that's going to be Holcomb again. He's had a pretty good game. Holcomb sees Northey coming, and he actually is ahead of him. Looks like he has the angle, and then it's just like you're standing still. Northey, we knew he was going to be a weapon coming in, and he has more than overmatched what we thought he would do.
So we've seen a whole lot of these short passes from the SAGU Lions. Their offense from Collins to Northey and Rowe, a couple to Jeremy Carr. Now we have seen Collins work with a couple of pump fakes to get the middle of the field open. How long is it, maybe Matt, as a defensive player, how long do you think before we see Collins use these pump fakes on these short passes and then open up something deep down the sidelines to somebody maybe like Dotson or Torres Hill?
I think it'll happen pretty soon. Coach Smith, you know, he's the aggressor. He likes to keep his foot on the gas as much as he can.
Oh, Moreland's got to pick that up. He can't take a knee either. He's got to get it out of the end zone. He does. This is going to be terrible field position for Ottawa-Arizona. It went through his hands into the end zone. And fortunately for the Spirit, he's able to get it out of the end zone, albeit to the 5, maybe 6-yard line.
That was nearly a safety. Yeah, that's Moreland. He getting a little, you know, that's when you get a little frustrated. Now you're down 18. You were up by 3. Probably trying to do a little bit too much. Just go ahead and let the get in the end zone. Instead of trying to make something happen, and we know we can make it happen. Instead, Ottawa's going to take over at their own 6.
And we see the sun start to come out here a little bit here in Waxahachie over Lumpkin Stadium.
That could definitely change the way this game is played. It's cooler temps than usual, but it's still pretty humid out here. So you see on a quick game like this, guys getting gassed. That could definitely happen. Now facing a 94-yard long field.
Here's McCullough back to pass. Clean pocket down the middle. Cannot find his man. Looked like a pretty good route tree there. He had his man Jeremiah Graylock, who had that offensive pass interference penalty in the first half.
Now it is a great route tree because he's all alone. If he's able to be a little bit faster to the position, or if that ball gets put a little bit more to the left, that could be a 94-yard touchdown pass. And we know Ottawa's capable of it. And even right now, up by 18, you know that the Spirit can turn this game around in a hurry.
And there we see Ethan Cook in coverage. He has replaced Cedric Dale, who went down with an injury in the first half. Quick swing pass out to Moreland, and Moreland gets brought down. That's going to bring up a 3rd, and we'll call it about 4 here in their own territory.
And at the moment, 1 for 9 on 3rd downs. A defense that only gives up 25% of their 3rd down conversions. Right now, giving up around 12% in this game, and it's been a huge difference maker as Ottawa-Arizona has been unable to sustain any drives. They've had some great drives, but not when they've gotten to 3rd downs.
McCullough completes the pass across the middle, and that is going to get a 1st down. The first in a long time for the Spirit. Completes the pass to number 14, his first reception of the game, Ronnie Martin. He's been targeted a couple times. He hasn't really been able to bring in a couple balls. But here is Ottawa going with the no huddle.
Going no huddle after a good quick route. Find the open man. You only need 4 or 5 yards to pick up the 1st down. Get the guy the ball underneath, and now you're moving a little bit. You got your back away from the end zone. Now you can start sustaining something.
McCullough hands it off to Moreland. Moreland, so shifty, gets brought down from behind. Looks like Keandre Belcher was in on another tackle.
And we've seen a concerted effort from the Spirit in this half already to try to establish the run. Interesting, now that they're down by 18, they're trying to establish it, but I think they see that their offense just isn't working like it was during that 17-point run, and they really need to start trying to mix things up a little bit and, you know, make the Lions respect the run.
McCullough hands it off again. And a good stop this time by the Lions. They only allow maybe 2 or 3, bringing up 3rd and short.
Marco Matthews with the initial contact, and so far, while SAGU has struggled from time to time with the one-on-one matchups of the open field, if they're able to get the guys there, they are finishing the tackles up. And Marco Matthews gets him there. You see Bryce Bailey coming in, and it's good to see Bryce Bailey back out there after he was hobbled earlier.
Another handoff, and it's a fumble. The Lions pick it up, and Bryce Bailey is going to be able to walk to the end zone. Touchdown, Lions! Another defensive score for this tenacious Lions defense.
And if you're Ottawa, this is deja vu all over again. You start the second half giving up a huge touchdown on offense and then a defensive touchdown. It just didn't look like Moreland ever had the ball in his hands. It looks like he's never quite secured, rolls right out, and that is an easy scoop and score for Bryce Bailey. And just like that, the Lions are about to take a 42-17 lead with 14 points in the first 5 minutes, and that just shows how much confidence I have in TH that I said all that.
Talong Hamong, TH, puts the extra point through, giving the Lions a 42-17 lead. Tim, they've blown it open.
They have blown this game open. They were down. Yeah, and just it looks like he doesn't have it secured. The ball never gets punched. He's just kind of still trying to get in his hands. He's getting wrapped up, probably thinking he's about to try to make too much of a play. Interesting play call as it was. It was a third and long, and you hand it off anyways, even though the Lions have been reading it. Yeah, I watched the replay again here, and he does have it secured, and it just kind of comes out. And who else is there? Derek Shelby is probably going to get credit for forcing the fumble.
It looks like he got him from behind as he came in at the end of the line. Got that right hand in there.
Yeah, and so I guess Shelby did punch it loose, so we've been calling his name a lot. Here it is again. Now, Matt, you're on defense now. You were up 17-14, and just like this, 28 points have gotten hung on you. How do you respond on defense when the game turns this fast and it goes from being a lead to now you're looking at a chasm? Still plenty of time left. How do you adjust and move forward when you're now looking at a deficit of 4 scores?
Obviously, you see something's going wrong on defense, something isn't working, so you definitely have to make an adjustment there, as well as you have to cause a turnover. You have to cause a turnover not only to get the ball back so you can score, but also to bring the team morale up and try to get the players back invested to this game.
It's going to start with the offense, of course, but Ottawa-Arizona has dropped a couple interceptions. CJ is lucky at the moment that he doesn't have a pick, especially towards the end of the half there. That could have been a game-changing moment with the Lions up by 11. Instead, the interception was dropped. So, yeah, obviously still plenty of time left here, but if you're the Lions, the way this game was going, when you were down by 3, it felt like everything had shifted, and now you've put up 28 unanswered points, up 42-17, 9:39 left in the third quarter.
Here is McCullough. He's going to hand it off up the middle for a good gain. We'll call it about 9. This is going to be about 2nd and 1.
And their commitment to the run is kind of catching me off guard right now. I mean, obviously, great gain of 9 yards right up the middle. Sets up a good situation going into 2nd down and 1. But the passing game, I mean, you had the big touchdown towards the end of the first half that was erased on the pass interference call. I'm just surprised that we're seeing such dedication to the run at the moment, since, McCullough's had a good game.
McCullough fakes the pass. It faked everybody out wide open in the middle of the field, and he's got a lot of room to run. Finds his man across the middle. That's number 88, DeMonte Williams, with his first catch of the day, and it's a big one.
And watch this. It's going to be that rollout. Low guy, middle guy, deep guy. SAGU's crashing down on it. They forget that he can still throw it to the middle of the field. That is a great play call. After all that time of rolling out left and going to one of those 3 options, instead, he goes to a 4th option SAGU wasn't thinking about.
A big field this time for Joshua Vizcaya. He's going to pick up a first down, and Ottawa, just like that, responding well after the fumble, the scoop and score for the Lions.
You can say they've handled adversity well. When they were down 14-0, what they do, they went down and got a field goal, then just kept it churning. Now they're down in a much bigger hole, but this has been a great drive so far from McCullough and crew.
McCullough hands it off to Vizcaya again. He gets wrapped up, brought down after a gain of maybe 1 or 2.
Now, you don't want to settle for a field goal on this drive. You need to go ahead and get 7. And I'd be surprised if they even were to put a field goal unit on the field, especially since the offense is clicking again now, like we haven't seen them do in quite a while.
McCullough fakes the handoff. Rolling out to pass, the corner of the end zone, broken up by the replacement, Ethan Cook, who's come in the game for Cedric Dale.
Big play for a guy, like I said, coming in. Stays on the ball and gets a hand on it. Awesome job by the sophomore DB to break up what would have been a touchdown pass in the back of the end zone. Brings up 3rd and 6 from the 8-yard line.
We've seen Cook break up a pass with his left hand and his helmet this game. Back to pass is McCullough. Got time across the middle. Looks like it's dropped in the end zone. In coverage was Kobe Roach. And that's going to bring up 4th down for Ottawa. You got to think, I was going to say they're going to go for it, but they're bringing out the field goal unit.
Honestly, you just didn't pick up enough yards. I mean, you're sitting there looking at a 4th and 6, and you've had 2 straight passes broken up. I guess your mentality is this will put you down 3 scores. You are down 4 scores at the moment. If you score here, you're going to be down 22, so that's 3 scores with a touchdown and 2-point conversion somewhere in there. So you try to get the points.
The kick is up, and it is good. Ottawa's going to cut the lead to 42-20, and the Lions will be getting the ball back with a huge lead right now. Again, that lead is 22.
John Williams hadn't made a field goal coming into this game. He's converted on 2 now, and he does bring it back to a 3-score game. And yeah, now if you're the Ottawa defense, it's definitely hold time. You cannot allow any more points up on the board. SAGU will be more than happy to match you 1-for-1 the rest of the game.
Again, the Lady Lions in action today, of course, that is the volleyball team, and Tim, they are impressive this season.
If you've never watched volleyball before, if you've never gotten into volleyball, there is no better time. If you see that SAGU Sports Network has a game going, you have got to tune in. It's been known for quite a while. The volleyball has been one of the most consistent teams at SAGU. Consistency's gone. They are excellent.
They are tremendous.
Unbelievable. Only one loss in the season at the moment. They are up against Mid-America Christian.
Two sets to none.
Two sets none. They've won 17 straight games. It's honestly, I'll go ahead and say it. The fact that they're not ranked right now is unbelievable.
They are ranked. They're not ranked high enough.
They're not ranked high enough. If they are not ranked higher and higher, they've got one loss that came at the beginning of the season against Evangel.
Pooch kick brought in by Northy. Northy's got a little bit of room. That's not Northy. Actually, it's a different up man this time for the Lions. Dakota Gilly returning the kick over to about the 45-yard line. I did talk to Coach Moore last weekend after another just big win, and he said defiantly, this is their best start they've ever had, and it's the highest hopes for a team he's ever had. And they're a lot of fun to watch. If you don't follow SAGU Sports Network on Twitter, follow them, and turn on the notifications so you can see whenever the Lady Lions are playing.
Because there's some excitement brewing for that team. There's some excitement. The sky is absolutely the limit. I mean, there is no reason to think there won't be a banner in that gym soon. They are that good, and I am not exaggerating.
And the team thinks the same thing, so it's always nice to see that kind of confidence. Michael Bledsoe, with his first really good run of the day, gets about 5. Again, about a season average is about 5 a carry, so you can expect some good things from Bledsoe.
Back to the volleyball team, I was talking with James, one of our directors here at SAGU Sports Network. He said it's almost impossible to get the replay machine to go slow enough to catch some of these spikes. They have it cranked to 1%, and it's still happening too fast. You literally almost need a high-speed camera to catch up with this volleyball team. Back to football.
Collins, the shotgun, fakes a handoff, and that is nearly intercepted. It looks like it went through the arms of the defensive back. He was looking for Bryant Dotson on one of these short routes.
That is going to be close to get a little impact here. It goes right into his hands, and can't believe it wasn't picked. Saw a moment ago Sam Northy's stats on the day. That's unbelievable. Over 200 yards receiving. If the things hold the way they are, player of the game is not going to be tough.
A little early, but I think that's it's not out of the realm of realistic. And here's Jeremy Carr. Jeremy Carr makes a man miss after C.J. Collins rolls out to his left. Defender's breathing down his neck, completes the pass, gets the ball past the 30, and that's a Lions first down.
And the secondary starting to look a little bit worn out. I'm not seeing the same pursuit. Early on, when the guys were getting blanketed, they were catching the ball still, but they're getting brought down immediately. Their Carr was able to do a nice little spin around his defender, pick up an extra 6 or 7 yards, and the Lions are back in business down to the 29-yard line. Collins
takes the handoff. Ball gets batted down at the line. He was looking for Jeremy Carr in the flats on another kind of short out route. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10.
Second ball we've seen tipped at the line of scrimmage. And again, we're not seeing that pressure at the moment from Ottawa. They've really kind of laid off of that. And they're not winning the battles anyways. If I were them, I would start dialing up that pressure, bringing some of those linebacker blitzes again, because nothing else is working at the moment.
It looked like Ottawa wasn't set. SAGU took advantage with a good run on 2nd down, about, call it 8 yards, making it 3rd and 2. Matt, I do want to ask you, we're looking at the defense right now. We're seeing a lot of hands on hips and heads hanging. Is that a pretty good sign for the Lions offense that defense is tired?
That is a great sign for C.J. Collins in this SAGU offense. Anytime you see a point of weakness, you have to attack it early and often.
And there we see 3rd down play is going to result in 4th down.
And they line right back up. SAGU's all no huddle right now. Carr with 69-yard receiving and a touchdown. Lions facing 4th and 1.
Oh, and it gets stopped right in the backfield, trying to fight for a first down. Collins is tied up in all of it, but It's going to result in a turnover on downs.
That's a huge stand for Ottawa. You're about to give up more points. I'm surprised SAGU didn't debate a field goal. That would have pushed it back to a 4-score game. As it is, they end up going for it on 4th down. I understand why. You've been succeeding so much, but you get held up in the backfield there. I feel like CJ was still pump faking with his running back having the ball, just trying to convince anybody he still had the ball to free up his running back. It doesn't work, though. Big stand for the Spirit. They are still alive in this one, where a score might have been a knockout blow.
42-20, still in favor of the Lions. About 6:20 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. The handoff goes for about 3.
And they're still. I mean, I guess I like seeing this patience from Ottawa. You're down 22, but no panic. You're still handing the ball off. It worked on the last drive. It freed up some passes down the field. So just kind of keep it normal. Keep it steady.
McCullough rolling out to his left, throwing it, and is complete down the sideline. He finds his man that time, Brandon Jones, the big senior receiver, 6'3", 240.
And the rollout play is working for him again. For a while, SAGU was shutting it down. They're making sure all 3 levels were covered. I think getting that play over the middle really helped free up this situation here, because he's able to get the middle guy in this situation, gets up to around the 47-yard line.
Here's McCullough back to pass, clean pocket, short completion just at midfield. Finds his man Timothy Robinson for a gain of, we'll call it 4, maybe even 3, bringing up 2nd and 7. Here's McCullough. Hands it off, and he is swallowed up by a herd of Lions, a pride of Lions, I should say. They're on the defensive line. Good stop.
Yeah, that play was going nowhere from the start, and it feels like SAGU read that run coming. I think they saw that was a situational play. Look at CJ's stats for the game: 24 for 34, 345 yards, no interceptions.
Here's McCullough on 3rd down, back to pass, screenplay, not going to go anywhere, even if it's completed. That's going to be a loss of 3 or 2. That's going to bring up 4th down. I think they are going to say it was completed.
That's one you don't want to complete.
You don't want to catch it there. So it's going to be about 4th and 10, and of course, Ottawa is going to go for it. They got to try to keep this drive going, especially after a good defensive stop where SAGU was driving.
Yeah, you got to go ahead and try to make this happen. And SAGU has too many men on the field.
Too many men on the field. They got to get, and they're all over the place. This is going to be a good play for the. Oh, it's picked off! Christian Cross was on his way off the field because he thought he wasn't supposed to be out there, and then running back on the field out of position. That's the definition of a ball hawk.
That is amazing. I mean, sometimes you'll see these guys try to lure the quarterback. I don't think you usually see them sprint. Look at where he is. Look at where he is on your screen.
Oh my goodness.
Comes all the way across and makes that interception. The quarterback, again, SAGU thought they had too many men on the field. They didn't. And so the coach is screaming, get back on the field. Christian Cross is almost out of bounds. That would have made an illegal player. He is at the bottom of your screen, sprints to the top, makes his 2nd interception of the game. This is unbelievable. Look at where he is.
Literally the
number
lower
33
right-hand
at the bottom right of your screen gets all the way up to make his 2nd pick of the game. What a stop from this SAGU defense.
Unreal.
Christian, 5 picks on the season now.
Unreal. 5
picks.
Including that pick 6 he had on the 2nd drive of the game. Here is the handoff. And breaking free, Stephon Free rather, trying to get past the defender, brought down at the 15-yard or 14-yard line. Stephon Free hit the hole, wide open hole. It was able to get it down inside the 15, and SAGU right now is firing and rolling on all cylinders, whatever you want to call it. They're playing a perfect ball game right now.
In the 2nd half, absolutely. I mean, all you had wrong was that 4th and 1 that got stopped. Everything else has been all Lions.
Collins fakes a handoff. He's going to the end zone. Brian Dotson brings it down. Beautiful back shoulder fade to the corner of the end zone. Tim, Matt, you as well. That's almost unguardable on a receiver that big.
He is big, and C.J. Collins did a great sale with that RPO right there. The whole defense was fooled. I was fooled myself, and that's why you saw Brian Dotson make that touchdown catch.
And that's what happens when you establish the run game. Stephon Free getting that great run to start the drive off, run a little play action. Yeah, Brian Dotson's 6'3". You put it up there, he can jump up and get it. And just like that, the Lions roar right back down the field after the pick on 4th down. And they are now up by 28, about to be 29 points.
There's a flag on the play.
Number 64 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. We'll play the try.
TH is going to have to do a little bit of extra work here and go back about 5 yards. Still have confidence in him, Tim, to make it from here?
I think I'd have confidence in him for a 45-yard extra point. It's okay. It's
TH trying to make it 49-20 in a half that has been dominated by the SAGU Lions. Hold is down, kick is up, and it is good. TH extends the lead, 49-20.
And it's a 21-point third quarter. And watch this replay again. Just no chance. No chance.
None
Puts it
at all. Yep.
Even if the DB is able to read that perfectly. Even if he's able to swing all the way around, David Jones, the cornerback, is able to swing back around. You're a 6'3" guy and a 5'10" guy. If he's able to do everything right, where that ball was thrown, it's just not going to happen. And you just watch right here. You see the like I said, like Matt was saying, low RPO. You get the play action. That's going to freeze these linebackers down here just enough to pull off Dotson. Let him get open in the corner there. Dotson knew exactly where he had to stop too. He just plants his foot, turns around without even thinking, just goes up to catch that pass. Beautiful, beautiful pass and catch, and the Lions are now rolling up 49-20. And a game that they trailed 17-14, so they are on a 35-3 run right now. Like I said, it's been a total game of runs at this point, and they are on a 35-3 run at the moment, and cruising with just under 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
5 touchdown passes for C.J. Collins, 1 to Dotson, 1 to Carr, and then 3 to Sam Northey, including the 2 defensive scores is how we've gotten to where we are, 49-20. TH kicks it again. It's going to go over the head of Moreland and through into the end zone for another touchback. And TH has taken away one of the best weapons that this Spirit team has to offer, and that is, again, Shamar Moreland, who is so dangerous in the kick return game. TH completely negating,
which has been huge so far in this third quarter, because that's what the Spirit need. The Spirit need a big game-breaking play right like that. The Lions have totally kept it off the table for them, except for the one pass over the middle that gained a lot of yards, the pass that they threw there to DeMonte Williams. Other than that, they've been totally kept in check on offense. 2 turnovers, 1 for a touchdown, one there. You look at Austin McCullough's stats, not bad. 242 passing yards, touchdown, but those 2 picks. 1 return for a touchdown, the other on a big 4th down conversion attempt.
McCullough's pass goes high and wide of the intended receiver over on the sidelines. Incomplete pass.
Second down.
And it feels like McCullough is starting to struggle a little bit now. He's had a couple of overthrows there. You honestly can't blame him for the last interception. He had his man open, and he thought you never really expect a defender to come from 30 yards away.
I'm still in shock of that interception by Christian Cross. Here's McCullough, back to pass, steps up in the pocket. He's going to take off with it, brought down from behind. That time by Gary Powell, the freshman.
Austin McCullough on the run.
First time we've gotten to call his name today.
And Landon Jones.
Yeah, and just nobody open. He has his man running underneath. Maybe should have tried to get the ball to him. He had some space to run, but by that point, McCullough, maybe from just a little bit of frustration, had already committed to the run. Does pick up a gain of 6, brings up a 3rd and 4.
The Lions, who have been so good on 3rd down, face another one here. They hand it off, and that's going to be a 1st down. And Kobe Roach, the last line of defense really there for the Lions, is going to make the tackle, and then a late flag is thrown. We'll see what this could be called on. Kobe Roach did get the face mask.
Got the face mask, yeah. That's all Riley there. He is going to be able to get into that 2nd level. Yeah, if Kobe Roach doesn't bring him down, Riley could be gone. He's going to pick up an extra 15, though, by courtesy of Kobe Roach's face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, number 32 of the defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
First real big penalty for the Lions since that one drive early where they ended up having 2 penalties erase what was going to be a great drive. At that point, it felt like the Lions were in big trouble. It's a whole different ball game now.
Absolutely. 1st and 10. McCullough hands it off to Chester Ryland. He is met after a gain of 1.
And now that I'm not sure that run's doing you much favors. At this point, down 29, if you have any hopes of getting back in this game, the clock is already a factor.
And we see Derek Shelby forcing the cutback.
You've seen 45 in the backfield all day today. It's been amazing.
Rolling out is McCullough. He's going to throw it in the flats. It's caught. Nice catch there in the flats. He finds his man. That time it was number 21, Christopher Ewins. And they're going to give him, I believe, enough or just at the first down marker. They may have to measure here.
Landon Jones has got good coverage here. Reads him coming out of the backfield, stays on him, goes up to get it, and the pass just put in the right spot. Good job hauling it in, even though it's off his body a little bit. Picks up a gain of 9, and it will bring up a 4th and 1.
3rd and short.
Sorry, 3rd and 1.
They're looking at Ottawa's pointing towards a first down.
Timeout Southwestern, their first of the half.
But it's going to be a timeout by SAGU. Ottawa, the offensive lineman thought that was a first down, and it was close.
It was definitely very close. It's one of those things when you're going to the sideline like that, you know, it all really kind of comes down to where the ball is. Another look in here.
Evangel pulled ahead.
With just 1:48 left. Up on William Penn. Looks like Evangel has the ball. Up by 7, so
they're going for it on 4th down.
One of the top teams in the nation, and they're going to pick up the first down.
Quarterback keeper. That's going to be a touchdown. Wow, what a play call!
Gutsy play call on 4th and 3, as it looks like Evangel's going to roll to another win. One of the top teams in the nation. They handed SAGU their first loss of the year. They have a fierce defense out there, as SAGU learned. And again, you can't say that it came against a bad SAGU offense. SAGU's offense has been putting up numbers for the last 4 weeks. They got 49 on the board, 35 on the board. They got 35 on the board, 2 for the defense.
Just 35.
But they've been doing a great job, so that Evangel defense is something to be reckoned with. Held SAGU to just 9 points in that first matchup between sister schools up in Ozarka, Missouri.
3rd and short here for the Spirit as they line up. Got to convert this. Got to try to get points on the board. They do bring their heavy package in. They've got 2 tight ends or big-bodied receivers on the end of the line that they call tight ends. We'll see what happens here. They are going to fake the handoff. McCullough back to pass. Has 2 guys in his face. Just chucks it up. Christian Cross comes down with the interception. His 3rd of the game and 6th of the season. This freshman is incredible.
Somebody check his gloves for magnets. There's something going on here. He's had every kind of pick you can imagine. One that he just runs under, one that he cuts off, and this one, a ball just kind of thrown away. He just fights his way back, diving for that pass, gets his arms under it. Just unbelievable.
Wow. SAGU over the past 5-6 years has had a lot of defensive backs that are ball hawks like that. We think of Carl Morgan, we think of Shaquem Taylor, Malik Golden even last year. Very good. And it looks like they have another one, and he's a freshman, and he's already got 6 picks in his career.
This guy is something special.
He is 17 years old.
He
is 17 years old.
I did not realize that. 17 years old, Christian Cross.
That's what we call a true freshman right there. That is as true a freshman as you can be. Man, what a player. What an absolute player out there. And Matt, you've seen this guy all throughout training camp, haven't you? You've seen him coming up.
Yes, sir. I went out to training camp, when they were getting primed and ready for Evangel, and I saw how he read. So it seemed so instinctive for this young man, and I said, he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year, and he didn't start the season, and I said he's going to earn a job against Evangel.
Collins rolling out of trouble, incredible, throws it to the sideline, out of bounds. Sorry to interrupt you. That was a busted play.
Oh no, you're fine.
But Matt, where are you getting your insider sources here? Defensive Player of the Year, and it's looking accurate.
Hey, I'm so pleased that he is making me look like I know what I'm talking about.
The Lions facing 3rd and 10 here after the interception from Christian Cross. Looking to try to pick up a first down here. They would be flipping some bad field position here, putting Ottawa in a good chance to drive down the field. Collins in the shotgun, 4 out wide. He's back to pass. Has a clean pocket, steps up, down the middle of the field. Jeremy Carr has it. He's going to haul it in for a first down and then some. Jeremy Carr having himself a game as C.J. Collins puts it right on the money.
It's like clockwork. It's like about every 9th or 10th play, they go, okay, we've worked the defense well enough that we're going to have that route open again. They have now hit Carr on 3 of those routes right over the middle. Another huge first down, moving down the field as we approach towards the end of the third quarter here.
Collins fakes a handoff, gets it out to Carr again. Carr tries to throw his stiff arm, but he's going to spin his way for about 6 yards, making it 2nd and 4.
They're throwing everything at Ottawa right now. Everything is just, and it doesn't just feel like everything's working, everything's contributing to the next thing. Every short pass is contributing to a pass over the middle. Every corner route is contributing to a screen route. It's all coming together.
Here is Collins, 4 wide. Bledsoe in the backfield. He's going to fake the handoff, try to duck under the sack, and Collins is going to fight his way, incredibly enough, for about 2 yards.
That's impressive. I guess that's the benefit of getting blitzed so fast. You hadn't had time to take a drop back because he was already pretty close to the line of scrimmage. He dives forward for a desperate gain of round 2.
He is 6'4", so pretty much all you got to do is fall forward.
True. That's 2 yards right there. So brings up a 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3. Collins 4 out wide. Bledsoe behind him in the pistol. Collins reading the defense. Looks like they're going to be coming. Collins fakes the handoff, gets it out to Jeremy Carr, and there it is again, the quick hitter. But a flag comes out late here. After the completion, the flag comes out. We'll see what this is.
That's interesting. If it's going to be, maybe a roughing the passer call. That's what I saw some indication of. We'll see. They are gesturing towards the sideline. Ottawa finally brings the blitz heavy on that play, but at this point, SAGU's done too good of a job of getting guys open underneath.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 61 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It will be first down.
So the first down is going to count, I believe, and Dane Macklin.
That is number 61's first unsportsmanlike foul. A second will result in disqualification.
So I believe they get to keep the first down yardage, or not yardage, but the first down gain. That's going to march them way back.
Yeah, so it'll still be a 1st and 10 situation, but not what you want to do, losing 15 yards like that after just probably a little bit too much extracurricular after the play.
I did see somebody get thrown down kind of after the play. That could be what they nabbed Dane Macklin on. Regardless, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 38.
And again, you're seeing that blitz finally start to come through, but at this point, SAGU has established too good of an identity, getting the guys quickly underneath. Looks like SAGU's going to go ahead and walk off the field. The clock will roll, and that'll end the third quarter. A third quarter to the Lions put up 21 points, and they are cruising in this one.
There he is. Man of the hour, Christian Cross. 3 picks today, doubles his interception total on the season. Yeah, no big deal. 6 interceptions,
I say usually doubling something in a game means it wasn't good before. It was already great before. And I think what's so impressive is it's been 3 vastly different picks. One was just a read. He sees that the receiver's coming to the side. He stays underneath the ball, kind of catches a jump ball, goes for a touchdown. The second is the amazing one.
Unreal.
Sprinting across the field, jumping in front of the quarterback's pass. The last one is just a poorly thrown ball that should just fall harmlessly for no gain, gets underneath it and makes the catch. Score update down in Tyler, Texas.
Ooh.
Arizona Christian hangs on with the Texas College Steers 31-27. That's a
close game. Wow.
Close one. You know, I feel like we're seeing there used to be some major gaps in this former CSFL, now Sooner Athletic Conference, between the best and the worst. I feel like over the last few years we have seen some gelling. So it's been closer and closer together. It used to be the Texas colleges, the teams like that, you can always count on a win against them. More and more, I feel like this conference is starting to develop into solid, top to bottom. Even teams like Texas Wesleyan and obviously first-year programs like Ottawa, who you would think should be at the bottom, they are giving people a run for their money every single week.
Collins, 1st and 10. He's back to pass. Down the sideline, he's got Northey wide open. If he can outrun everybody, it's his 4th touchdown of the day. Will he? Sam Northey into the end zone. Number 4 for number 4.
There's a flag on the play.
A flag in the backfield.
This is probably
Holding, number 61 of the offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. It remains first down.
The second penalty on Dane Macklin on this drive. The first being a personal foul that wipes out a first down, and the second wiping out Sam Northey's 4th touchdown of the day.
That would have put Northey at around 300 yards receiving. That would have been amazing, but it does get erased. Those are old Calvin Johnson Megatron numbers, and he's 5'8".
Oh, the Lions now 1st and 20 after a deflating holding call.
Yeah, 25 yards of penalties on the Lions have moved them back. That's the kind of things that's good when you're up 29 in the 4th quarter when you're making mistakes like that.
Collins hands it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe gets brought down from behind after a gain of, let's call it 2. Brings it up to the 30, making it 2nd and 18.
Just some blown coverage there on the defense as well. The holding had nothing to do with the blown coverage. That somehow Northey, after all he's done in this game, was able to get that open again.
It just goes to show you, Tim, there's always something to work on. And in this game, we're finding out the Lions are just penalized way, way too much.
Yeah, they got to figure some of that out because you lost a scoring opportunity earlier on it, and now this drive's been derailed by it.
Collins pumps and has Torres Hill down the sideline. And there we see it. We asked Matt about it. When would the pump fake come on the short route and then break down the field? There we see a stop and go. Torres Hill gets the first down.
And Torres Hill is just a strong receiver. He's one of those guys that's going to fight for everything. Just does a great job of kind of getting open. Just enough space, gets it, and then is able to fight through for the first down into Ottawa territory. You see right here, turns around, hitch, and go. I love the hitch and go. Does the hitch, gets the pump fake, that is, spins around the guy, he's wide open. Big first down.
Here's Collins. He hands it off. Bledsoe gets brought down. They're going to call it no gain as he gets met at the line of scrimmage. That's a big first down for the Lions. You want to come out after a holding call that wipes out a long touchdown. Keep it methodical. Take some more time off the clock.
Exactly, yeah. At this point, just keep on draining the clock. Put up another touchdown, why not? But just the only way that Ottawa somehow gets back in this game is with some quick turnaround stuff. So at this point, as long as the clock is running, you are in the clear.
Here's Collins in the pistol now. Bledsoe behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, get rid of it, and throw it downfield. Nobody there. Was looking for Torres Hill, but with the pressure looming, just gets rid of the ball.
Yeah, it looks like Hill might have been anticipating the pass to come underneath, and instead he kind of stopped in his tracks and was unable to get back up the field in time. Brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Lions at the 43-yard line. One of the few this half, this miscommunication between quarterback and receivers that we have seen. Other than that, it has just been all on target.
Collins.
Got kind of Blaine Rowe lined up kind of as a fullback here.
Yeah, here we go. Collins puts Bledsoe on the other side of him. Blaine Rowe looking back at CJ. Here's the motion. Collins hands it off to Bledsoe. He's just going to carry it for, they're going to call it a loss of 1. So the Lions look like they're content with coming in to punt the ball and trying to pin the Spirit deep. So we'll see what happens here.
Blaine Rowe's supposed to be the clear-out guy. He's supposed to be the lead dog on that run, but it just never materialized. And so the Lions will be forced to punt, but they take some time off the clock, get down the field. Now for the first time in a while, Moreland's going to get a chance to return a punt. And
maybe. We'll see.
If I'm the Lions, I don't worry if this goes in the end zone, because that's the only thing that could go wrong right now is a 95-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Oh, he gets it off. It's almost blocked. Low kick. Moreland coming up for it. And he almost thinks about trying to corral it in and try to make something happen. But regardless, the Lions are going to put the Ottawa Spirit at the 20-yard line. I'm sorry, rather the 15-yard line, and give this Ottawa offense a long field. 85 yards to get a touchdown for Austin McCullough and company.
Let's look at the turnover margin on this one, and you're just not going to win many games when you're -5 in turnovers like Ottawa is today.
You might tie the Browns, though. Here comes the Spirit
Confessions of
offense.
a bitter Steelers fan.
I don't want to talk about it. Here comes the Spirit offense, down 49-20. Austin McCullough fakes the handoff, back to pass, steps up in the pocket, unleashes it down deep, and it's going to be intercepted just past midfield, and the Lions with their 7th turnover of the game. Ray Lee is the one who comes down with it. The Lions so good in the secondary today.
Yeah, and that's just kind of a totally busted situation, just trying to throw the ball, trying to make something happen when you're down 29. There were only 3 guys had a shot at that football, and they were all wearing purple. And that's just kind of the frustration decisions you make when you're trying to make something happen. Limited time left. Like I said, just kind of heaving this ball to the middle of the field. You got pressure coming on you. And Christian Cross wanted it. He thought about cutting back for it. He says, I'll let somebody else have one for once.
Collins hands it off. And that looks like it's Stephon Free, who had a big fumble earlier in this half, but then ripped off a huge gain. Now back into the game for Michael Bledsoe, picks up a gain of 4.
And if you're SAGU, this is when you just want to go ahead and, continue this momentum, continue what you've got going on, establish an identity as just a powerful offense that is able to play start to finish.
Collins hands it off to Free. He cuts it back, but he's met that time by number 43, Santiago Medina. And it looks like a SAGU player down, but he's going to come off the field. It is Stephon Free. Uh-oh, he's holding that right arm down by his side. That's not a good sign.
Not what you want to see in a game that you have put away, and I wouldn't be surprised with already some SAGU injuries if on the next drive we don't see some backups come into this game, barring any sudden changes in the scoreboard situation. Now, if you're Ottawa-Arizona, this is kind of finally your first welcome to the league moment. You're down big on the road after a lot of close games, a lot of big wins. So this is a gut check moment for them as well, how they respond.
Collins fakes a handoff, gets it out to Northey. Northey trying to make a man miss, but he fights and gets enough for the first down and then is thrown down out of bounds. But Sam Northey, he's scrappy. He fights for that first down.
He really is. He's not just one of these receivers you think of as the Wes Welker type or whatever. He does have a lot of different weapons out here. He operates like a receiver who's a lot bigger than he actually is. He's not just that stereotypical underneath guy getting the quick plays. And if you have him on your Sooner Athletic Conference fantasy team this week, you're set. You are set.
I didn't know that was a thing. Why didn't you invite me to that?
Yeah, I try to keep it limited so I have a chance to win.
CJ Collins now on 1st and 10. He's going to hand it off up the middle. This time that is Jayton Taylor. He's going to get about, call it maybe 2 yards. Going to make it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, if you're Ottawa, like I said, this is your first year as a program, and this is your first experience with being down big, which is crazy. The fact that they haven't been in this situation already this year. Again, barely losing in the final seconds against Langston, barely losing at the last second against Oklahoma Panhandle State. Now, to me, this is a good experiment time for you. How do you keep your team together? How do you keep fighting through these final 10 minutes in a game that appears to be a lost cause?
Collins fakes the hands off. Northey comes back for it, hauls it in. A good job of adjusting to the ball by Sam Northey. Matt, I want to ask you real quick, how hard is something like that to cover?
That is very hard to cover because CJ threw it right in between the window, between the corner and safety. You see someone here swinging out, so the corner's popping down on that, and then boom, right there in that slight little window, he was able to thread the needle.
Quarterback and receiver on the same page. It's a beautiful thing.
And there's been no other page so far today for Collins and Northey but the same page. It has just been a masterful performance between those two.
Here is Collins. He hands it off. Up the middle, Michael Bledsoe, and we talked about it pregame. Michael Bledsoe has not really seen the end zone too much this season. That's a 2nd touchdown, and I bet it's a much-needed one for the SAGU running back.
Yeah, it's a good thing to establish here late. You've already shown you can pass all you want. Bledsoe just shreds right up the middle, basically untouched until the goal line. Goes in, and SAGU breaks the half-century mark here with 9:30 to go. Just, a little exclamation point. You got 2 defensive touchdowns. You had 5 passing touchdowns. Well, now you got a rushing touchdown to just complete the full set.
You said the race to 55. Sounds like you were right, Tim.
Well, luckily if you're SAGU, you didn't need it today. But someone did get there. And, yeah, they're up to 56 now as the extra point is up and good. 8 touchdowns for the Lions in this one as they are now up 36. They've put up 28 points here so far throughout the first 20 minutes of the second half. after putting up 28 in the second quarter. And again, they were behind 17-14. This game felt like it had shifted from that first opening salvo from the Lions. The Spirit had opened up a 17-14 lead. You said, okay, this is the team we were scared of. They were clicking on offense. Their defense was making the plays when they had to. And really, it all started, I go back to it over and over again. Ball at the 20-yard line, back-to-back offsides calls. It just kind of changed the game. I think that sequence has frozen the Ottawa team from being able to blitz as much as they want to. The linebacking team, the front line, it's kind of froze them in their place. CJ did a great job of finishing off that drive, and it's been nothing but SAGU since. Look at a score update here. Langston just barely on top of Wayland Baptist, 7-6. And you were asking for this in pregame. You said it's time for CJ to start having his senior year. I think his senior year started today.
And it couldn't come a moment too soon. This breakout performance, you don't really talk about breakout performances too often when you're talking about a senior quarterback. But in this instance, it drops it in the end zone on the return. Moreland is going to bring it out. Gets tripped up and brought down about the 19-yard line. But as I was saying, you don't normally talk about a breakout performance for a senior quarterback. But seeing it today, it just looks like the C.J. Collins of a couple years ago when he led this team to a victory bowl. And he's just able to just move the ball so well today. And it's the Collins that we want to see.
And to so many different kinds of receivers, too. I mean, obviously, it's been him and Northey all day. But also Jeremy Carr. He's had some great passes underneath Jeremy Carr. Torres Hill has gotten some passes on the last few drives. Obviously, the touchdown to Dotson. Look at a live look in here. Langston, again, up 7-6 on Wayland. So that's a thriller out there.
Austin McCullough down 56-20, hands the ball off, and a good run nets them I'm going to say he was down. I'll say nets them a first down, but it's going to be a carry of 9, making it 2nd and 1.
Joshua Vizcaya on the run.
Haven't seen any backups in yet for the Lions defense. You got to wonder when they'll decide to start bringing in the backups to avoid any further injuries. Already a big loss. Cedric Dale looks like he's down for the foreseeable future with a knee injury. And also Malik Golden not playing today with an ankle injury. So you got to think, when is the time that they'll bring in these backups?
I would imagine you want one more stop. You want to go ahead and complete it. And if you're this defense, I mean, you've given up 3 points. Really in this game, since you went down 17, you've only given up 3 points, and you've forced so many turnovers. You want to be out there. You're in the zone. You're feeling it. You don't want to get pulled out, and then the backups come in and give up a garbage time touchdown or 2 potentially. You want to be out there and complete this game. But I imagine if they force a punt here or turnover on downs in the next few minutes, I would have to imagine we have to see some backups in the final 5 at least.
McCullough completes the pass out wide. He swings it, and then he runs for a first down. Finds his man, Ronnie Martin.
That's a battle that Ottawa, Arizona was winning a lot earlier. Those bubble screens, they were getting the blocks, and just nothing's really been clicking for them since then. McCullough's been struggling with accuracy. They've been unable to get anything really going. They really tried for a while to establish the run game. Even when they were starting to fall behind, they tried. It just, I mean, it was working a little bit, but it never worked well enough.
Pass completed, then brought down. What a tackle there. Looks like that was Torrey Williams on the outside. Brilliant open field tackle.
Another great job of, again, the 2 guys who are coming up top to block, really just fighting off his blocker completely, getting around him and taking him down.
It's a good tackle.
That's a very good tackle. We've seen some excellent tackling from the Lions today.
McCullough hands it off again. It looks like they're content to work the run game. And then breaking free is Chester Riley down the sideline, looking for that front pylon. He's going to find it. That's a touchdown for Ottawa, Arizona. The Spirit run the ball. Looks like 5 times in a row that drive, or I'm sorry, rather 4 times that drive. A couple of extended handoff plays in the pass game, but majority of the time they're running the ball that drive, and it results in a touchdown.
Yeah, and that's what they're still good at. They can still break off those big plays and, just able to work it inside. A little bit of a weak pursuit on the outside there by Torrey Williams after making a great play, but is able to go into the end zone for the long touchdown run. So finally, the Spirit break a long touchdown drought. I'm trying to remember when their last touchdown was. It would have been when they went up 17-14.
Yep.
That would have been no more than halfway through, more like 9 minutes left in the second quarter. So it's been a long break between touchdowns. They finally get off that schneid. It's good to kind of, try to get back out there and, like I said, fight through these final 10 minutes if you're the Spirit after a game that you were not only in early on, it felt like you might have taken control. It really felt like the Spirit had taken control of this ball game when they went up 17-14, and the Lions have answered the bell perfectly from then on out. 7:23 to play. As again, you see that turnover margin. That is definitely the story of this ball game. It's -6 for Ottawa. You have the interceptions. You have 2 that went straight for touchdowns. You had the pick 6 and then the scoop and score to start the second half. Really from that point on, from the time the Lions were able, because that put the Lions up 42-17. Once that happened, it really felt like there was no way forward for the Spirit.
Got to watch for the onside kick.
Yeah.
You never know.
Lions have everybody forward. We'll see if the Spirit decide to just kick it deep, or if they go ahead and gamble. They're down 29, so
they're going to pooch it. And underneath it, hauls in at about the 24, cuts it outside, down the sideline, and gets knocked out of bounds. They'll call it about the 45-yard line. That's going to be Dakota Gilly with a good return there.
You know, we've seen pretty much all the key players we talked about, even for the Spirit, have had big games. They've had really big moments. The only thing that hasn't come true so far this game has been a special teams touchdown. So I'm still waiting for that. That was one thing we talked about. We felt like it was inevitable. Of course, both teams have really changed it. I mean, I don't know what the Lions' strategy was actually early on, because ever since TH has started kicking out of the back of the end zone, it's just been constant, just consistent. I'm not exactly sure what the special team strategy was that was giving Shamar Moreland opportunities to return kicks through the first 2 quarters.
Moreland did have a fumble in his game. Maybe they saw something in his game where they thought they could force a fumble on a kick return. He did have a fumble, but it was on offense. You never know, but I believe that they just went through it. Dancing around in the backfield, here's Michael Bledsoe. He's going to cut it to the outside, cut it back in a hard-fought 4 yards.
And CJ is going to be straight up directing traffic here. He's actually grabbing the back of his jersey. You watch right here, grabs him and tells him which way to go. He's like, no, not that way, not that way. There's too many guys.
Turned his body, CJ Collins.
Go that way, Mike.
Second and about 7 here. I'm surprised to still see CJ in the game, as well as Carr, Northey, as well as Bledsoe.
I wonder if they know what their numbers are, and if they have any school records they might be aiming for.
Collins hands it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe cuts it up the middle. He's going to have enough for the first down. Good tough run by Michael Bledsoe. Picks up about 9, and that's going to be enough for that first down. 1st and 10, Lions.
Free and Bledsoe have both had pretty good games. Free had a big breakaway run at one point. Bledsoe's now been kind of established late here as the churn out the clock guy. Exactly what you want to see. If you want this to be a complete offense, we've seen the passing game totally come alive today, but if you can redevelop a rushing attack, especially if it's a 2-man rushing attack, this team could be scary through the last 5 weeks.
Bledsoe up the middle again. The Lions are going with a heavy package. They actually bring in linebacker Daniel Zalea as a tight end, it almost looks like, as well as extra lineman Carter Severson out there on the end. So it looks like they're going to be content with running the ball here, and you should be. Yeah, run the clock out. Absolutely not trying to air out an opponent, but.
No. Especially since you're still looking to establish that run. Let Bledsoe kind of get a stride going. He got a touchdown on the last drive. Let him really get his legs underneath him. Just, churn out this clock. Get out of here with a big opening home win.
And as I say that, Collins back to pass, looking for Carr, and it's incomplete.
Another one almost intercepted. If anything, you don't want CJ to throw too much. It might sully his perfect passing day at the moment. This one's going to be thrown underneath and just making a play on it. Yeah. It almost looked like the underneath man broke the pass up. Otherwise, it might have been intercepted by number 12, DeBerry, who's had a really solid game. Early on, he was just dominating those edges, especially against Blaine Rowe. Was having a great ball game. But once the SAGU offense got rolling, the 11 men on the Spirit defense just didn't stand much of a chance.
Collins now in the shotgun, 3rd down. Hands it off to Bledsoe. Bledsoe runs into his own man, but then falls forward for about 2 yards. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Punt unit will come back out as the clock ticks toward 5 minutes, and SAGU pretty much has nothing but 5 minutes left to wait to claim their 3rd victory of the season. Move them to 3-2 overall. More importantly, move them to 2-1 in conference. A conference that, as we've seen on the scoreboard around the league today, is anything but decided. There is going to be a lot of shifting all those top teams still have to play each other, and any given week there can be an upset.
The punt is a good one, fielded at about the 8-yard line. Moreland looking for some running room, and there's a host of Lions. Cuts up in between them, stays on his feet, but then is ultimately brought down at the 15-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10, Ottawa, Arizona.
Moreland, really, he's really been trying. He had a big offensive touchdown early in the game that made it a 14-10 ball game. He has really been trying to break something off, and he has the potential to, but really ever since that touchdown, that one offensive touchdown he has been unable to come through. Ever since SAGU adjusted their kickoffs, and the punt team has done a much better job of getting down the field as well.
Run up the middle, still pounding the rock. That's going to be enough for a 1st down.
The clock will stop momentarily, and then it'll keep ticking down. Ottawa's just kind of looking now to get down the field, and if anything, trying to maintain their scoring average right now. They came in averaging over 40 a game, so you want to get that number up there a little bit.
Swings it out down the sideline, finally pushed out of bounds. Big hit there by number 29, Eric Berry.
I like Berry. He's had a couple of, every time you've seen him on the field, he's been making a solid play today. Really, the defense has had a lot of, you just think about it in a game you're giving up 27 points, but especially, well, of course, you forced 7 turnovers, and the defense has had a lot of really stellar play today. Obviously, Bryce Bailey's had some great plays. He had the scoop and score early on. We've been calling Derek Shelby's name in the backfield the whole game. Obviously, Keandre Belcher early on was having an awesome game. Obviously, no one can quite stand up to Christian Cross's game at the moment.
Now, Matt, while we still have you, Matt, is there anybody, you played here, and you've been, kind of around the teams for the past couple of years, is there anybody that you've seen who wants the ball more than Christian Cross? Because it seems like he fights for every ball that's in his area.
No, sir, I have not, and that's one thing, not a knock to any former player I played with. They're very great disciplined players, and it's a team ball, but Christian Cross he's just had an eye for a ball, and just like Tim was saying earlier, it's like he has magnets in his gloves. Wherever the ball and whenever the ball's in the air, it seems to be he's somewhere around it.
Oh, we got a loose football.
Yes, we do. That's a fumble. SAGU says they have it. If they do, that'll about ice the game. Referee's got his hand up. No decision yet. It looks like it's still going to remain with Ottawa, Arizona.
SAGU came up, definitely thought they had it. Ball popped loose. Would have been another turnover. And like I said, this defense came in, the Lions came into this game +7 in turnover margin. That's already one of the best in the nation. That's going to get pushed to, I believe, +13 at the moment. I have to imagine it's going to help as far as the ranking in that category goes.
3rd and 5. Austin McCullough is facing. He's back to pass. Going deep down the sideline. Got a man, hauls it in. Kobe Roach gets beat on coverage and then can't make the tackle. And that's going to be a touchdown for Ottawa, Arizona. And they refuse to go away quietly.
That was just a dime from McCullough right there, dropping into Monte Williams. Great coverage. He's just going to check his options, knows he has a man streaking out right. That's well covered and just lays it into his hands. Just can't drag him down. I mean, he's just pulling him the whole way. DeMonte Williams goes in for the score. So Ottawa, Arizona putting some points up late here. Extra point to try to get the lead back to 22. Probably not enough time left at this point for any special miracles, but at least some signs of life late. Of course, it's been a game of runs, so it was like almost guaranteed that Ottawa was going to put up some 14 points in a row or something like that to close the game out.
Now, do we see, with 2.5 left, do we see the Lions keep their starters in after this touchdown on offense?
At the moment, let's see here. They're huddling over there.
Kick return team right now huddling.
Kick return team is huddling. CJ's got a red hat on the sideline. CJ is wearing his ball cap at the moment with the ball about to go back to the Lions.
Keep an eye out for number 12. Ty Francis is listed as the backup quarterback.
And he has his helmet on. So
good to see him.
I would imagine we might see an onside kick here. Just why not? I mean, you're down 22. There's still that. If ESPN was doing their game percentage tracker or 538, they probably have a 99.8% chance of a Lions win. But why not try it? But if they do, CJ does appear to be out of this game now, and Ty Francis would come in for some late game action.
Not a bad day's work for senior quarterback C.J. Collins either.
Yeah, we'll get his final stats here in a moment, and those are just amazing. And Ottawa will just opt to kick it deep.
Hauls it in about the 13. He's going to cut it back up inside and get met by a host of Spirit return coverage players down at about the 22-yard line, and that's where Ty Francis and this SAGU offense will take over to try to ice and milk this game away with 2:24 left in the fourth quarter, with SAGU up 56-34.
Yeah, 20 at the moment. You have 28 points in the first half and 28 points in the second half. You've done it in amazing symmetrical fashion. You have two really deep passes to Sam Northey. You have 2 defensive touchdowns. You have it's just been amazing how much symmetry you've had between these two halves at the moment, putting up 28 in both of them.
It looks like Romeo Balboa actually is going to come in at quarterback. We're familiar with Romeo. Had a game a couple years ago where he threw, I think, 5, maybe 6 touchdowns.
He
came through. Had his rushing and passing. Had 6 touchdowns.
He came in obviously for CJ. I believe it was 2 years ago, and he had some really good games in that time. So he's a guy you want on your team if you ever were to need a backup situation. You know you've got a very solid backup with Romeo Balboa.
I think he had 4 touchdowns passing, 2 rushing that game. I think I remember calling that one. Here's Balboa now. Tries to spin out of the backfield, does his running back, handing it off this time to Jayton Taylor. Going to bring up 3rd and roughly 5.
I just realized on the symmetry note, at the moment, Ottawa has 17 for each half, too. So it's literally been a 28-17 halves right in a row.
We asked for consistency at the beginning of this game.
You couldn't ask for any more consistency.
1 defensive score in each half, a couple long touchdown passes in each half. That is amazing. Good call. Good job by you. Good job by you.
You know, I thought I'd seen this all happen before.
Here's Balboa now with 1:10 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. He's going to hand it off, and Taylor's going to go down for a big loss. It's going to make it 4th and 11. But
lucky.
That clock keeps rolling.
Lucky just to hang on to that ball. Looked like there was a bad quarterback exchange to the running back there, and the clock will just continue to wind. SAGU will be punting with around 20 seconds left, and Ottawa-Arizona will take back over for a play or 2, but this one is essentially in the books at this point. Again, you got to feel very good if you're the Lions. Not only you started this game so strong, and really, it felt like midway through the second quarter, it felt like those first 5 minutes were going to be the mirage. That SAGU had figured out Ottawa's offense, and that SAGU was working around the defense. Instead, it turned out that the next quarter that we saw was the mirage. Ever since then, SAGU has really owned, like I said, after you go down 17-14, you come back, score 35 of the next 38 points in this ball game. You've just got to be very happy with a very, very solid home opener that's going to put you back to the winning side of the standings at 3-2. The winning side of the conference standings as well as 2-1.
2-1, absolutely.
So you're going to be halfway through the season, 5 games to go. And we kind of alluded to it in pregame. You know, if you want to equal, obviously, if you want to equal last year's mark of 8-2, you got to win out.
Absolutely.
But especially if you want to equal the momentum that this program has right now, you've got to win out at this point. And so you got to do that game by game, and you've got to be very thrilled with the way this game went. High
snap and the handoff around the edge is running back Chester Riley, getting a lot of yards here in garbage time. Is Chester Riley? He's got to be well over 100. He's had a lot of long runs today.
C.J. Collins' final stats on him today: 32 for 48, 471 yards, 5 touchdowns, and it's always good when you can end the game with a ball cap on. Just, you've put it all away. There's a run out the middle, be another first down, but I imagine that the clock will get reset here. And unless Ottawa wants to try one more last-ditch throw to the end zone.
They're going to try something here. 3 seconds left, 2, and then a flag comes out. That could be a false start.
False start, or I'm not sure if everybody was quite set yet. I believe it's probably going to be a legal formation, and that'll actually run the clock out.
False start, number 85 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. By rule, that foul also includes a 10-second runoff. That concludes the ball game.
There it is. You called it false start, and that is going to do it. The SAGU Lions in their first home game of the season. About time in their first home game of the season. It's been so long. Take the win, 56-34, and an absolute domination of a game here, especially in the second half.
And again, a curious domination of a game because it was so close early on. It felt like this was going to be lockstep all the way to the finish. Matter of fact, you felt like that Ottawa might have kind of taken over the momentum, and they might have been the ones putting up these points late. Again, they won 56-10 last week at Lyon College. So for them to be able to totally just rally the troops after you fall behind, it was all SAGU early on, and then all SAGU from then on out. You got to be very happy with this team. If you're Ryan Smith, what a great home debut as coach to get this big win, putting 56 points on the board and doing it every which way, offense and defense.
3 stars of the game. Matt, who's your player of the game?
Christian Cross.
I figured the defensive back is going to go with the defensive back. I figured that. How about you, Tim?
You got to go Samuel Northey. I mean, obviously, CJ had an absolute monster day, and Northey isn't scoring if CJ's not getting the ball. But when you see a receiver like that come through with the stats he had today, especially the last touchdown, the 85-yard touchdown, that all it is a little ditch route. Supposed to pick up 5-6 yards maybe. He takes it to the sideline and is gone. That's the kind of playmaking that you need. And it's one thing when the quarterback throws it 50 yards and it drops into his hand, but I got to go Sam Northey. And you look at some final stats here. Final yardage for the Lions, 471 passing yards. The total yards there is actually going to be over 600 yards. When you average 131 to 471, it's going to be over 600 yards. 10 for 19 on third downs, whereas right where we said they would be, 25% allowed on third downs. And Adam, you just pointed it out, the one area to clean up, 8 penalties for 85 yards, one that erased an early scoring drive opportunity, the other that also put you behind the chains. So they were bad penalties that actually took points off the board. Luckily, you had more than enough points to go around today. Just a brilliant offensive performance. Like I said, anytime you put up 602 yards, that's over half a mile of yards right there. That's exactly what you want to do on your home turf. And the defense, even though you're giving up 34 points and 580 total yards, a lot of that came once the game was already safely put away. You were a big play defense, taking away a lot of, and honestly, you were allowed to give up 34 points if you score 14 of your own. And that's exactly what they did. And they're at, again, that 25% third down. Now you look at the current conference standings. Arizona Christian on top at 3-0. Langston currently dueling Wayland Baptist out there. Wayland is winless and Langston is lossless, so that's going to be an interesting one the way it shakes out. Meanwhile, SAGU now moves to 2-1. Ottawa falls. They fall to 1-3 in the year in conference and then 2-3 overall. So still a lot. And honestly, that top 4 there, Arizona Christian, Langston, OPSU, and SAGU, still a lot to emerge from those teams. SAGU obviously with OPSU and Arizona Christian still to come this season. So still a lot going on at the top of that conference.
Long road ahead for the SAGU Lions. You've said it many times as broadcast. They got to win out. They've got to win out. 8-2 is the ideal record for the Lions. And there you see the Wayland Langston score. Wayland actually up 13-7 on Langston. Again, SAGU losing to Langston last week in a tough matchup, but Wayland Langston on upset alert right now.
Definitely, you're down 13-7. That's. Yeah, and they've struggled on offense a little bit. They have definitely struggled on offense a little bit this year. So now we'll be back next week. Tell us about next week. Lead us in.
Texas College today almost beating Arizona Christian, just a 1-score game. They come to Waxahachie next weekend to take on the SAGU Lions. That is our next broadcast. Nothing this week. We won't see you until Saturday. But if you don't, go ahead and follow us for all of the sports, the stats, the updates throughout all of the sports we offer here at SAGU: volleyball, cross-country, football, anything, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, any of the social media platforms. We have it. Stay up to the minute with the SAGU Sports schedule, stats, news stories, anything you could possibly imagine, again, on all of those social media platforms. Well, good win today for the SAGU Lions. We'll be itching and waiting to see what's going on next Saturday. I just felt like we just got back, and now we have to wait another week for another game. Well, that's okay. Good win for the SAGU Lions. Good team win as they, again, defeat Ottawa-Arizona Spirit 56-34. For our incredible student-led production team, to our sideline reporter, Matthew Williams, my broadcast partner, Tim Roberts, I'm Adam Ferguson. As always, thank you for watching the SAGU Sports Network.